Vegas, where the big fights happen, and tonight, one of the biggest fights that can be made in the sport finally happens as well. Two of boxing's brightest stars, two of boxing's potentially biggest stars, Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, will throw hands right behind us in this magnificent T-Mobile Arena. A man that knows too much about being in the big fights as well. Looking dapper as always, Mr. Showtime, Sean Porter. How are we, sir?
You know, I'm a little heartbroken, man.
Why?
I got to take the suit off. It's doing something to the TV. They don't like it. So.
It's true. But it is nice. And we needed to see it. So, look, we've seen it now. You can remove it.
That was it. I just wanted...
can remove it.
Sean Porter Suits and Services coming soon.
But look, we are here for a magnificent fight between, again, I said at the top, two of boxing's biggest stars. And look, we get so much with talk about broadcasters and politics of boxing. How good is it that we can finally get one of the big ones over the line?
Man, it's far too few in between, so to speak. I just think that both these guys have gotten to a point in their careers where it just is very, very rare. You got two guys young, one guy approaching his career, his prime, and Ryan Garcia, and then the other, of course, Tank Davis in his prime at 28. And it's just both those guys have probably as many followers and fans as they're going to ever have. And it's a unique situation. Boxing reaps the benefits of it. You've
been in some big fights as well in your career. How are they both feeling, again, only a few hours away from main event time? What is it? Is it nerves? Is it excitement? What's the feeling?
For me, it was always excitement. For me, it was like, you put the work in, now let me go in there and do what I got to do and get paid and let everybody see me beat that guy across the ring. I think that they're going through that same kind of mentality. They're kind of reminding themselves of what they need to do tonight, and that's about it. What you guys would consider, what you guys being, you know, the fans, what you would think is stress or pressure, we just kind of welcome it. You know, we're fighters.
Yeah, fighters indeed. One of the big talking points since I arrived in Vegas was the rehydration clause. Everyone's been talking about it. First of all, it was the 136, and look, both of them came in under that. But then it was, okay, you can't rehydrate past 146. This is Ryan Garcia this morning. Bang on. I say bang on below it, 144.9, just showing, okay, I'm comfortable. Is he comfortable, though? Because me and you were at his last fight against Javier Fortuna, and look, we both spoke to him and said, look, would you fight below 140 again? And he's like, no.
I mean, just to speak to this weight for this fight, or the rehydration, if you do it right, about 10 pounds is all you should put on anyway. So he hit it on the mark. A little under that just means he got full and didn't need any more to eat, you know. But when it comes to him going beneath 140 to take on Tank Davis, take a look at that. This is the fight. Probably
sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
You just got to do what you got to do, you know. And fighters make sacrifices. For anyone who says he's not a real fighter, he's just a social media guy, he made a big sacrifice getting down to 136 pounds. That means he's a real fighter, and he's ready for a real fight.
I don't know what it is. I'm a sucker for a bit of animosity in fights. Not a lot, a bit of animosity. And these guys,
we all are.
Yeah, these guys genuinely don't like each other. And I think it's fair to say it spilled over at the weigh-ins yesterday. Ak and Barak have been here all week. They were there at the weigh-ins. Guys, it went a bit too far, didn't it? Especially with Gervonta Davis and Bernard Hopkins.
Oh, when you're talking to a legend like Bernard Hopkins, obviously he has to have a certain level of respect. Look, we expected animosity between the two fighters. We expected shoving, pushing. We loved that, entourage. But him to turn over and kind of threaten Bernard, balled his fist up, that went a little too far when Bernard wasn't doing nothing but trying to break it up.
No, see, Bernard had some testosterone cream on his hand. Well, that's,
those are the foul rubies.
That's the crazy allegations that's being made for this legend who was always clean throughout his whole career. And you got to understand something, that Bernard is used to being respected. He's used to being able to break up guys like Triple G and Canelo and without a problem. So for a fighter to come at Bernard like that, that's just kind of crazy.
Let me tell you how bad and how much people respect Bernard Hopkins. When I tell you, guys that were picking Tank, guys that were saying they like Tank, he is making people flip now. Guys saying that he went too far with Bernard. I'm going with Ryan now. So some fans went the other way just because of how much they love and respect Bernard. But one thing did go right. Both guys made weight with no problem. To your point, Ade, no issues. Now, we don't know if that rehydration clause, even though they made the weight today, if it's going to affect Ryan in the long run later tonight. That's the question that's still out there.
Yeah, everything was good. But as usual, because if you think about Garcia, the other Garcia, or if you think about Rolly, Tank is always putting his hands on somebody. So he put his hands on Ryan Garcia, and you know, nothing really happened, but thank God for that.
Yeah, but check this out. Look, Ryan Garcia came under the 146-pound limit, right? Which is kind of shocking to people because they figured that he would struggle, they would try to hydrate and would just make it. I think he did it to make a point to say, hey guys, you thought I would struggle with this, you thought I would be drained, but I came under that weight. So maybe there's something to worry about on Tank's side.
And he was saying that he ate breakfast that morning, so it might be all good for both fighters.
We'll see. Addy, back to you.
Yeah, maybe so, and I understand their points as well. I want to talk about sort of Gervonta squaring up to Bernard Hopkins, one of the legends of the sport. There's certain things you don't do.
Yes, it's certain.
I mean, Bernard's a great guy. You don't need to do that. Again, look, tensions do rise at weigh-ins. Can we give that as an excuse as to why he did it, or is it a no-no?
No. There's certain things you don't do, and like Barack said, is things Tank has been doing recently that is kind of just outside itself. You don't cuss out a teacher. You don't hit a police officer. You certainly do not put your hands or talk to Bernard Hopkins in a really disrespectful way, the way we saw Tank do it. Nonetheless, that's kind of his demeanor. You know, if anything, he's sending that message now.
Yeah.
That, hey, this is what you're going to have to deal with
serious.
on fight night. I don't care about this man, and he's a Hall of Famer. I damn sure don't care about you. So it's about to go down.
It's about to go down indeed. Remember, it isn't just Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. This is the fight card that you guys can expect on the main portion of the broadcast as well. All right, all kicks off. Elijah Garcia versus Kevin Salgado fight in the middleweight division. A fight, this is the rematch. A rematch of a really good fight as well. Well, good for Gabriel Rosado against Betmagir Melakuziev. This is number 2, super middleweight division. David Morrell Jr., a lot of people are hyped about David Morrell Jr., the unbeaten Cuban, now based in America. He takes on the very late replacement Yamaguchi Falcao. And then the big one, the big boys. This is what everyone's come out for. This is what's going to break the internet. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Absolutely fantastic fight card. So many good fights as well to look at. By the way, that Rosado Melakuziev, anything could happen in that fight.
Yeah. Well, we saw what happened the first time.
We certainly did.
And, you know, the main thing is you just want to see that this young man learn his lesson, or is this all about the get back? If you go for the get back too soon, the same thing could happen.
Same thing could happen indeed. Look, we spoke about Ryan Garcia and his temperament, and it's been fantastic throughout the build-up for this fight. Akinbarak caught up with the man they're calling the next Oscar De La Hoya.
I'm calling him the Amiri boy, man. He's shining, Mr. Ryan Garcia. Thanks for joining us.
No, thank you. It's always good to see you guys, man. You guys make me happy.
Likewise.
I was going to ask you, are you still riled up from the press conference?
Nah, you guys definitely, just being around you guys.
Thank you, man.
Definitely a different energy, for sure here.
Listen,
Price tag just went up on Akinbarak, baby.
Man, y'all better
listen,
really get in tune.
Heated press conference, but this is what we're used to in boxing, right? You look very confident in there. Even though Tank is a powerful puncher, skilled, hasn't lost yet, what do you think is the X factor that's making you feel so comfortable in this matchup?
If I say it and you didn't know what it was, you wouldn't see it. So I can't, you know.
Can't reveal it.
I can't.
It was a parable right there.
Exactly. So
Book in the Bible.
for sure. And it's just something I've always walked with my whole life. And it's always brought me to victory, no matter how big the stage was. When I walk in that, I cannot lose. So that's why I just try not to get distracted and try to get out of my character, you know, in these moments. I try to lead with honor as best as I can and not to get angry. Today, you know, he threw shots at my family that almost got me there. I calmed down a little bit. And,
what did he say? I might have missed it.
You know, you don't bring your, you know, your girl,
bring
your
your
mom,
daughter,
or your baby. And of course, I could have
sure.
reacted a little bit more angry, and I almost did. But I said to myself, you know, I've had my family there every time, and it's not going to change now.
Yeah, that wasn't a shot. He's saying that he's not going to bring his family neither because he feels like he's going to war. That's really like a compliment to you in actuality.
Maybe.
But maybe you just feel differently about it, you know?
Well, just, you know, the fact that he even brought up my
Your family
family,
just
I
pissed
think
you
kind of,
off.
it's like, I just thought that was weird in a way,
Yeah.
you know? Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but again, I didn't respond.
Whatever gets the victory. Read, brother. Read.
Exactly.
Okay, listen, you said he was small. He looked small and weight drained. Was that serious or, you know, playing with him?
He doesn't look
psychologically?
as strong, you know, when he's cutting weight. He just doesn't look like,
Yeah.
Right.
he doesn't look like he has any, like, resistance. Like, I know when I punch him, he's going to just go. Like I've seen guys, like when I was in front of Luke Campbell, I was like, oh, shit. This is different.
He's big.
But when I'm in front of him, I'm like, no. Just like when I was in front of Francisco Fonseca, you know, I was thinking to myself, like, how can Gervonta have like even an ounce of trouble with this guy. You know, sometimes you go into front of a fighter and you just like, give me him now, give me him now. That's all I was thinking. I just like when he was talking, I just wanted to already get him.
Gervonta said, kind of threw a shot at Joe Goosen and talked about your defense. If he's such a good trainer, why are you still making defensive mistakes, not putting your hands up? He also threw shots at your footwork. So constantly saying that you're not a complete fighter, you're not a good fighter. Is that so? I mean, why? I say to myself, so why the rehydration clause and why those other factors?
Exactly. What I was going to say is, okay, I'm not a complete fighter yet. We need a rehydration clause. I'm not a complete fighter, but let's do it at 136. I'm not a complete fighter, but I need spies in the gym. He's contradicting himself, and he doesn't even know it. He knows what he's up against. He just says these things to feel more confident about himself. But what I tell you...
But do you feel like you've made those type of mistakes, like hands drop, pulling out? Like, do you see what people are talking about?
I do, but I also know that...
I'm fast as hell.
I understand range really well, and I understand where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know, so... what I see defense as is, are you getting hit or you're not getting hit? I don't care how it looks. You know, a lot of people, they define defense as, you got to have the Philly shell. You got to have crazy head movement. But I've seen guys have head movement in front of me, and I hit them one time in their sleep. So how much defense is that?
Right.
Defense is you just not getting hit. I've never walked out of the ring bruised up, cut lip, broken nose, ever. What I've seen with him is bruised up by Gamboa, bruised up by Leo Santa Cruz, almost eyes shut. I mean, how good defense do you have? Again, but people, they stop, they stop searching. They just see the result and not the whole fight.
That's a damn good answer.
That's a very good point,
question,
bro.
though. Very good question. Listen, you mentioned that you prayed for one of your last opponents. Would you? I know it's a little bit different now, personal. Would you pray for him?
When he is knocked out cold, face first, I am going to pray for him. I am, because right now he's asleep. And Saturday night, right, he'll be awoken.
What about that bet, though? Because, is that real? I feel like no good father goes to work, works hard, and comes home with no paycheck. Because anything can happen. You can have an injury. He can have an injury. He loses his whole purse. I mean...
I thought about it, and I just said to myself,
because that's like your whole team not getting paid, too.
You know why I won't do it? It's for him, really. I don't want to take his money. He's going to be going through enough after this fight. He has a lot to think about. He was flashing me money, so he loves money. And imagine him not having any, he really will be lost. So I just hope he finds the truth after.
Before you get out of here, tease for the walkout. We expecting an artist or just a basic walkout?
Oh, I got the greatest person walking out with me.
You do?
Yeah, you're going to see him. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. He is the greatest.
Jesus is walking out with him?
No, he's the greatest.
All right, so everybody knows who he is.
The greatest.
Some do, some don't.
All right, so you have to tune in on Saturday.
Some know him.
Hold up. It's a hint, though. It's a hint.
Give us a hint.
Just know
he
that
said the greatest
of them all is walking out.
Of them all. I don't know. That's a good one.
Look, you can't miss this Saturday, man, on pay-per-view on DAZN.
Let's
Ryan
go.
Garcia.
And Prince, both of them gone.
When he said the greatest of them all, I'm like, okay, who is he talking about? Does he know football? Is he talking about Messi, Ronaldo?
I said Michael
LeBron?
Jackson and Prince. They both gone. Who?
Who could he be
Buy
walking
the
out
pay-per-view
with?
just to see that.
Yeah, just to see that. Yeah, who it could be. Honestly, right? It's crazy. I was still going to tell the tape for our two guys in the main event. What stands out for you here, Sean, in terms of big differences? Is it the height? Is that the first thing?
Look at it, man. It's the height. And the height is real. I think it's more 5'9" than 5'5".
Yeah.
But the reach as well, because the height is one thing. The height will make that 70 reach go to more like 72 inches, because he'll be able to punch and then lean back off of shots and things like that. So those are kind of the little X's and O's that people don't really know about. But the reach is a little bit longer because the height differential is as big as it is.
You know what I love? The weight. Again, contractually, we were told it's 136 pounds.
Yeah.
And I like it. No, let it be a lightweight fight.
Yeah.
Let's stay there,
I agree.
right? Not a 140 fight,
Yeah.
a lightweight fight.
I agree.
And we heard that Ryan sort of made 135.5, Gervonta 135.1. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Look, you're a man of many talents. I didn't know that you were going to be the new Stephen A. Smith when it comes to interviews, but you are, because you sat down with Gervonta Davis for our piece Off the Cuff, and it was absolutely fantastic. Here's a small snippet.
How did you come into boxing at 7?
A little backstory, just me, my mom and father was on drugs. My mom left me and my brother in the house by ourselves. Someone called the Child Protective Service, and you know, they came and got us, and we was in foster care and group home and things like that. And I was always fighting in there. My grandmother fought that got us back, so we was the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
New kid in school.
Yeah.
And I was fighting a lot in school, fighting a lot on the block, and I was fighting. One time I fought in front of my house, and my uncle ended up walking outside the door and seeing me fight.
Yeah.
So when he seen me fight, he was like, "You could do something."
Yeah.
So he took me to the gym.
Yeah.
The gym was probably like, I want to say like a 10-minute walk from the house.
Yeah.
So when I went to the gym, I was getting the love that I wasn't getting at home. So it came more so like a father figure type stuff, like the coaches in the gym. That's why I'm still with Calvin now, because he's more so like a father. So that's what made me like draw me into boxing.
How do you beat Ryan Garcia?
Just go out there and be myself. Just be that boxer that I know I am, and I know that he's not. You know what I mean? I know that. Just be better than him that night. Just overall, everything. Iron sharp, like on the target.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think that will beat him.
Yeah.
I just gotta be overall just more sharper. Just my focus gotta be blazing that night. Just me and him in that ring. All in all, be better.
Fantastic, honestly, fantastic. Honestly, it really is.
Nah,
you can watch all of it on our platform right now, off the cuff. You made him open up like he doesn't normally open up. I always feel like Gervonta's guarded a lot. A bit I really liked when you spoke about him being an entertainer, and him kind of like, really?
You gotta watch.
You're like,
the
yeah,
whole,
I'm an entertainer.
You have to watch the entire thing to know what he's talking about. But the bottom line is, fighters aren't told that they're entertainers. At the end of the day, people come to these events to be entertained, not just to see a fight. They want to be entertained. They want to scream, yell, the whole nine.
He makes them do that.
Yeah, both of them do. Both these guys do, you know. And so I just felt like the bottom line was, when you have this platform and you have the ability to do certain things, when you have a moment to touch a kid like Gervonta, go ahead, give him something that's going to make him think and change some of the things he may think about, or whatever the case may be. So my thing is, when I interview, I want to get the most out of you, but I also want to give something to you as well.
I like it. Ak and Baraka are ringside. They're joined by someone who entertains as well, someone that's called the last, I think, 4 or 5 fights for Ryan Garcia. Mr. Todd Grisham, how are you, sir, in the building?
Right. The man that has the most sky miles of anyone I've ever met, but he's also a colleague of ours, Todd, coming fresh off the jet from New Orleans. Now, Ade said something that I don't know if it was too kosher. He said New Orleans is a better fight city than Las Vegas. What do you say to that?
No, I think he said more like a night.
Well, hey, first of all, I'm still a little dizzy from being choked out by Nate Diaz last night on the street. Okay, so give me a few minutes. But New Orleans,
that was you.
Yes, New Orleans is straight to business. Like, you go get hammered, right? Yes. Vegas, there's shows, or you could pass it off and go to a club. Right. New Orleans, you know what you're getting into, and that's trouble.
All right, so let's talk about this fight right here, Ryan Garcia. Now, you covered about all of his fights since he was a baby, you know, since he was an amateur. And a lot of people are saying, and even Tank is saying this, all he has is a left hook. Can you attest that he also has a right hand?
Yeah, he's got, I mean, come on. So you're saying Mike Tyson only has an uppercut, or hey, if you're fighting Tommy Morrison, all you got to watch out is the left hook. George Foreman, just watch out for the jab. I mean, it's easy to say that, but I think Ryan Garcia's a lot more well-rounded. I remember calling one of his fights, it was back in 2018 against Carlos Morales. And it's the closest he came to losing. It was a majority decision. And the whole second half of the fight, Ryan was looking at the clock, didn't know what to do, was panicking. And that's when I thought this guy might be a hype job. But since then, 6 out of his last 7 wins have been knockouts. So he's found a way to get the job done. And I think he's a lot more of a complete fighter than Tank's making him out to be.
You know what else? During the weigh-in, I noticed the crowd was super diverse. We was comparing it to a Canelo weigh-in crowd. I was telling Barack, I think there might be more people than the Canelo weigh-in, but it's very diverse. We know Tank has a crowd.
In other words, you've seen black people. You've seen a whole lot of black spots in the crowd, and that's the truth. Come on now, let's say it.
There's a little salt and pepper there, right? So, no, but the truth is that Ryan reminds me of a young Oscar De La Hoya, right, who's a Mexican-American. Didn't win a gold medal, but he's that popular now. Where do you think the crowd is going to go? I mean, does he have to win this fight in order, I guess, to get the respect of those Canelo fans?
Well, I think Mexican-American fans like Ryan Garcia, but the diehard Mexican fans, the Julio Cesar Chavez fans, who didn't come around for Canelo for a long time, they're kind of waiting to see, is he that good? Because he doesn't speak Spanish, and that's a big deal. Is he that good? And I think if he beats Tank, he becomes a superstar in boxing, but especially among the Mexican population.
So where were you at with all the rehydration clause talk? Where were you? What does your mind say about that?
Well, my mind says if you didn't know anything about it, you didn't know there was a rehydration clause, and you watched the weigh-in yesterday, you'd say Ryan Garcia looks amazing. You've seen guys who are literally they're dragging him up on the scale and holding towels, and bro, he was flexing and popping. I think this whole thing was much to do, not about nothing, but I think Ryan, like as soon as he called out Tank after his last fight, he goes, "I'm only doing it 140." So I think that was the one little nugget he put out to almost be like, "Look, see, I'm giving you this."
Great point. Great point, Todd.
All right.
Finally said something that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
It took a while.
I did that for Mora. I had to stick you.
Thank you.
Ade's always trying to make weight in the gym every day. He still doesn't have a six-pack. Ade, talk to me.
Don't let me take my top off. I don't want to do it. I don't want to embarrass anyone right now, not at all. But we're going to pause the Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis chat just for a second because DAZN has big fights coming back to back. None bigger, though, than May 6th live on DAZN and DAZN pay-per-view. The Mexican King finally goes home.
I've already put the text into Reynoso.
Every time that Saul Canelo Alvarez fights, the world is watching.
I think this is the perfect moment, perfect fight to bring this fight to Guadalajara.
The timing is now and the timing is right.
I truly believe I can come away victorious.
The whole world will be watching. This is a fight that will be remembered in the history of Mexican boxing forever.
So many big fights on DAZN, by the way. I mean, it isn't just that one. We've got a whole host of big fights coming your way on DAZN. Some I find quite interesting, the crossover boxing ones as well. I'm involved in those. But look who we've got as well. Superstar has just landed. He's in Vegas. They didn't even tell me he was coming, but Dalton Smith, I think one of the biggest prospects in the 140-pound division in the world, joins us now. What brings you to Vegas?
You know, I'm coming out to get the feelers. But no, it's, you know, I've never been out to Vegas, and you know, it's been one of my dreams from being young. And you know, when you're getting up at the early hours to see the big fights, and the same with my guy here, when he fought my teammate, the guy from my hometown. You know, and that's what it's about. And you know, the guys that they're up here at my weight, and you know, it's about coming out here and seeing how these guys do it on this side of the pond.
Sean, you said you watched his last fight.
Oh yeah.
What do you make of Dalton as a fighter?
He looks good, looks strong. I saw a lot of similarities between you and Kell Brook, and that kind of was the question I had for you. It was like, what's going on out there in Sheffield? Because you look good, you look strong already early on in your career.
That's it, and you know, obviously Sheffield's a big boxing city, and you know, it's just been a journey, and you know, everything I've done, it's through my dad. You know, my dad's my coach, and you know, it's just years of hard work, and it's got me to, you know, where I'm at now. And you know, I'm out here in Vegas, and you know, watching the big fights, and this is where I want to be.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a big fight coming up for you as well. Obviously, take on Sam Maxwell very, very soon. Young Janae Boston's with you as well. When you're here and you're looking down, is it an extra motivator? Is that a case of, okay, look, we're going to do 5 hill climbs rather than 4 now because I want to get to this?
Yeah, and you know, like you said, that one extra hill climb is probably what will get you to this place. You know, with your face up in the you know, the headlights of Vegas, and you know, it's a real eye opener being here on fight week. You know, when there's a fight week here in Vegas, it's, you know, it surprised me. You know what they pump into the you know, into the city, and everybody gets behind it, and that's what it's about.
I'm hearing you're going to hook up, and you're not just here for the sightseeing. You're going to do a bit of training as well. What camp are you going to?
Yeah, so we're off to Manny Robles' gym. You know, I've heard it's tough, so, you know, me and Junaid have come off on his own back, and, you know, we said we want to get that hard work in, the hard sparring. And that's what it's about, you know, pushing yourself to the limit and moving on to those next levels, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to, you know, come over to the States and show them, you know, what the young fighters like myself coming up through the ranks, what we're about.
Sean, how important is that? You know, everyone always talks about different styles There's a European style, there's a Mexican style, there's your style. How important is it early in your career to go and mix and learn different styles?
You got to learn it. You know, I saw a lot of it as an amateur. You want to see as much of it as you can as an amateur. But upon turning pro, you know, and eventually I want to be here. You want to come out here. You want to feel it. I'm glad that you've done that. You want to be able to experience it. You don't want the first time you see this to be on fight night, you know. So I think he's doing the right things.
Just before you go, Dalton, we don't fence it on DAZN. Who wins? Who do you think takes it?
Tank for me. You know, I think it's going to be a very close fight early on. Maybe Garcia will probably up on the cards up until the 6th round, but you know, I can see Tank getting him out there. You know, in the second half of the fight.
I like it. Didn't fence it as well. Like, went straight into it as well. I knew exactly what he was going to say. As I said a bit earlier, so many good fights coming your way on DAZN. I mean, look what we've got coming up. I mean, come on. You want value for money, you get value for money. Canelo versus Ryder. Tough ass, this one for John Ryder, but he wants it. Saturday, May 6th. X-Series 007 KSI versus Joe Fournier, May 13th. Then I think a massive fight for female boxing. Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron. Katie was like, you know what, I'm a 135 fighter. I'm going to go up to your weight class, no rehydration clause, and fight you. You're coming to my backyard. And then Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. It's exciting, isn't it? It's exciting because we give you a bit of everything. You want a bit of crossover boxing, you get that. Hardcore boxing, you get that as well. Yeah,
I really like Chantel Cameron and Katie Taylor. I just think that Katie she's going to get pushed.
Yes.
But she's one of the best boxers in the world. You know, obviously she proved that in her last fight against Amanda Serrano. So I just think that this is going to be a dynamite fight. I think on the ones on that list right there, that's probably the most intriguing and fun boxing match to watch.
Yeah. What'd you make of Canelo and John Ryder? John Ryder getting the call, right? You get that call, you're excited, right? You're going to fight Canelo, and all of a sudden, no, you got to go to Mexico.
You
got to go to Mexico, not Vegas, not Madison Square Garden. You got to go to his backyard and try and win.
It's not going to be easy. We always like to say over here in the States that Europe likes to travel. I don't know if they're going to travel over there to Guadalajara, but nevertheless, they will be packed in there, and they will be extremely loud for that redhead Mexican, man, and he puts on a great performance every time.
Yeah, he certainly will. It isn't just about Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. I know that's what you're all here for, but there's some good fights on the undercard as well. One of the ones, it's an intriguing one, Rosado versus Melokuziev. This is the knockout, just to remind you, from 2021, easily knockout of the year.
Rosado's been in there with some of the biggest names in boxing. He knows what to do and when to do it. So Melokuziev will have to figure him out. Round one.
Two hard shots to the body that got the attention of Rosado.
And then nice hit to knee. First round, Rosado down.
It was body shot time, I'm telling you, that's what it was. He didn't throw a block. He still had an effect on Gabriel Rosado.
Rosado is the type of guy that will go out on his shield, that's for sure. He's scheduled for 12, but at this pace, not sure we're going to get there. Left to the body. Melokuziev stepping in, just firing with all his might, and he caught Rosado again. Were you trying to use that word earlier? Big shot! Okay, Rosado just put him flat on his face. It's a knockout of the year contender from Gabe Team Rosado. Incredible!
Back to bully, gets bullied by Gabe Rosado, the veteran.
He waited for that one special moment and dropped a bomb.
When is this man not an exciting fight? Unbelievable by King Gabe Rosado.
Yeah, easily knockout of the year. I mean, Todd Grisham said contender. Not a contender, that was knockout of the year. You know when you land it, do you just know? Do you just feel it in your wrist?
He just knew.
He knew, didn't
he? He knew as soon as he landed
already.
that.
He started celebrating.
And I know he's expecting that punch to land again. You know, I think that he was weathering a big storm.
Massive.
Gabe, that is. And I think he just threw the perfect punch at the perfect time. I had a chance to interview him, and I asked, is that something you guys worked on? He says that they worked on that specific punch. He delivered it how he had been delivering it in camp, and it proved to work. So I think with the rematch, you just have to look at the fact that Gabe is smart. We saw him. He was getting beat down. Let's keep it real. He's on one knee. He knows I need some time. I got to get it together. I got to figure this out. And he did. Coming back around, is the bully going to be able to figure out, hey, I can't go in there and go after it all, and because it could happen again, you know? So did the bully get smarter, or does the old vet, you know, continue to carry on?
Yeah, look, this is them at the weigh-ins yesterday. And I'm happy that Rosado gets the opportunity. I wasn't a fan of the Zotto fight. I wasn't. He's not a light heavyweight.
Yeah.
You know, where Zerdo's like a cruiserweight as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Rosado always in shape.
Yeah.
He's had a training camp. He's been wanting to take on the bigger man.
Yeah.
He's ready for this one.
Yeah, no. He's ready for this one, and you're right. I was not a fan of the Zerdo fight either. Gabe has had a roller coaster ride of a career.
Yeah.
I told him just a couple of days ago, you've had 3 careers, you know, and he's been able to make the best of everything that he's had. But you take a look at this face-off right here, he means business. And at this point in your career, most fighters with his kind of record don't come this serious. So we got a great one ahead of us.
Yeah. What do you make of the Rosado story, as you say? There's not many guys that get the opportunities that Rosado does. A, because he entertains.
Yeah.
He's a name.
Yeah.
But you look at it, double-digit losses, and we're still interested in Rosado.
Here's the funny part. Promoters used him just to build up other fighters. They didn't expect some of the things he's been able to pull off, especially with the last fight with Beck. They didn't expect him to pull that one off. He gets to go around the circle again, man. We'll see if he's able to get across the finish line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear what the guys have to say about this. I mean, me and we've spoken a lot, haven't we, about Rosado. Like what Sean said, we weren't happy about the Zerdo fight. I get it. You got to take it when it's given to you. This is a better fight for him physically, at least.
Yeah, no doubt. As the legend Julio Cesar Sina just walks behind us. Look, I think that what's bothering Rosado is that he's still the underdog, even though he won the fight by knockout. But there's a reason for that. Let's look at their last fights. We talked about it early in the week. Rosado's record, 1-4. Beck's record, 4-1. So it makes it seem like it's more of a fluke.
Yeah, but that one that Beck has is who? Gabriel Rosado. So come on, man. That's crazy. I don't understand how he's the underdog all of a sudden. It's because of those 16 losses. That's why. I say if the man knocked you out, you're the B-side, buddy.
Yeah, but he's not the B-side. That's it.
Yeah.
And I know you're upset because he still has the bully nickname. All right?
No, I don't care about that.
No, he wants.
Once you get knocked out, you kind of got to take that bully name away anyway.
Well, can he get it back if he should win?
I'll give it back. I'll give half a bully. You're half a bully. That's
Look, but we talked to Rosado, and what Gabe was saying is that, listen, I saw all of those things already. I'm going to be even better than I was. But it's not like he was winning the fight. Look, don't get me wrong. He tried that right hand a few times, and then he landed it.
Right.
But he also faced adversity in this fight,
right.
in that first fight. And Beck feels like I made a mistake. He was willing to turn down a title shot in order to avenge this loss against Gabe Rosado. So that means he's coming with a big chip on his shoulder. Can that serve against him? Because sometimes when you're too aggressive, that's what Gabe thinks, that, that's not going to help him in this fight.
Right, but I think Beck is saying, hey, I was winning that fight. All I got to do is just tighten up a bit, and I could win that fight. And I think Gabe is saying, listen, that wasn't a lucky punch. That was something that I practiced because he was trying that ever since the first round. It just landed in the third round, and he tried it after he was hurt. So what it was is experience, knowledge, and skill set. So he's thinking that he can outbox the kid. He told me that way before he even fought him.
What's amazing to me is that regardless of all of the losses that Gabe has, still being a part of big fights like this, that says a lot about what he brings to the table as a fighter. Even on a co-main event, there's another 168-pound fight. Maybe those guys, the winners, face each other. I don't know, Addy, what do you think? I mean, can the winner of Beck and Gabe compete against a guy like Morrell?
I honestly think about this Rosado fight. I almost feel like it's a winner stays on for Rosado. I think if Rosado loses, and I'm not just trying to put it out there, I do wonder if he continues.
That's the bottom line, Barack. I know you can hear me. If Beck wins, you need to go up to him and shake his hand while you're hating and tell him you are the real bully. Okay, I know you can hear me.
Yeah, don't pretend you can't hear, Barack. Don't pretend you can't hear. He's big as well. Be careful. I heard that Melakuzi has rehydrated for 200 pounds.
Don't get my pride up now. I'm the bully. I'm not scared of nobody, but I will respect the man if he wins, 100%. I hear you, Sean.
Indeed. That almost looks like a co-main event, but it isn't a co-main event. Co-main event is David Morrell Jr. versus Yamaguchi Falcao, and this is like a sleeper on this card. It is, isn't it?
It is.
David Morrell Jr., Cuban, now based in America, unbeaten. Yamaguchi Falcao just lost to once, a Brazilian that can fight both orthodox and southpaw. I like this fight a lot.
I like Falcao. He flies under the radar. You haven't seen much of him. He is kind of action-packed.
Yes.
He's going to try to bring it. And then on the other side of that, you're right, this is a sleeper fight because Morrell is fast-paced. Yeah. He's got a great engine, and Cuban, heck of a boxer, and can do it all, has power as well. So that is definitely a sleeper throughout the night.
It certainly is. Let's look at the tape for the co-main event. Let's find out a bit more about both fighters. Here we have David Morrell Jr. Fantastic amateur record as well, by the way.
Yeah.
130-2.
That's real.
That's 130 wins, guys, and just 2 defeats.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Lomachenko level. It's ridiculous. Yamaguchi Falcao, a lot older as well. Some might say more experienced because of that age. It's difficult. Honestly, this could be fight of the night. It has all the makings of fight of the night. I only wonder about Falcao and the last-minute call-up. How fit is he to go all the distance?
In a lot of ways, because of the action that we're going to get in the co-main event, you pretty much got 2 main events tonight.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an action-packed fight. I definitely encourage people to get your popcorn and get ready for the main event, but get ready for that co-main too, because that's going to be an electrifying fight.
Yeah, this is both of them at the weigh-ins as well. David Morrell Jr., by the way, always in fantastic shape. Yamaguchi Falcao, I mean, they're both in shape.
No, they're both in shape, and the thing about Falcao is...
I mean, look at Morrell.
Yeah.
I mean, jeez.
He's working, man.
Yeah, he's working.
He's working, and he knows what he wants, and that's what I really do like about the Cuban fighters. They come over here with a dream, and it's like it's well beyond a dream because they got to fight to get here.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the first fight. If they can weather the storms of the adjustments they need to make with the personal life and the adjustments with what they didn't have in Cuba, if they're able to get past that fight, they are going to be. They're all great fighters. And they all can get there very quickly to World Championship contention.
Yeah, look, that 168-pound division's a big one as well. If you're wondering what that belt was, it was a regular 168-pound belt. He wants the full thing. We know who's got the full thing, a certain Canelo Alvarez. So it's not going to be easy to get it, but he's there and he wants the big fights. Should be an absolutely fantastic one. Well, when you look at it, and you heard the guys down there say, Rosado, Melokuziev, Falcao versus David Morrell Jr. Could the winners fight each other? Could you see Melokuziev potentially against Morrell Jr.?
I hope I don't get in trouble. I mean, I think that's the picture that we expect to be painted here, but just because there's 2 weights fighting one right after the other does not really mean that this is a tournament-style kind of situation here. I think Morrell moves on and he fights bigger and better should he get past Falcao. I think Beck, if he gets past Gabe, he's still got some work to do. I think we'll see the work he's been putting in since the last time we saw him out. But I really don't see these paths crossing right now.
Yeah, that's Ade just trying to play promoter. This is kind of what I do,
Don't do that.
sometimes. Look, it's starting to build up already early. We've had some undercard fights here. I love when people get in early because that's the hardcore boxing fans. The ones that turn up this early because they don't want to miss anything. What's it going to be like for the fighters walking out soon to 20,000?
I seen some people over here when we first got here. So what you doing here so early? Trying to get our money's worth, you know? So you got to get your money's worth for this one, which is why I keep telling you, order the pay-per-view. It's going to be great. Order it and watch it from beginning to end.
Yeah, by the way, for those of you watching the UK and Ireland, it's part of your subscription. So you're getting big value for money as well. I think we're going to look at some of the potential world superstars that Ak and Barak have been looking at and thinking, and they've been talking about David Morrell Jr. as one of those guys that they think potentially could become a world champion.
I agree. I think that he's 2, maybe 3 at tops fights away. I mean, look at those.
There we go. I mean,
champions.
look at those. Look at those. Keyshawn Davis.
I like that they got Charles Conwell in there, man. He's a Cleveland fighter, flies under the radar because he hasn't been busy. Frank Martin is an absolute fantastic dynamite fighter. I think he's the quiet storm at 135. And then, of course, Keyshawn Davis just turned pro, 8-0 already, but I think they're going to fast track him, and I think it's worth it for him. He's dynamite.
Yeah, Ak and Barak, let's bring you guys back in again. Well, what's going on? Are you just being biased to your American fighters? Is this only an American fight? Or no European fighters
Absolutely.
in there?
Absolutely.
You name one then. Name one.
Dalton Smith that was just up here. Dalton Smith that was just up here.
He just picked Tank, so I don't know. He's not on my list because of that. You know what I'm saying? I like Tank too, but come on, man. It's the zone here.
No, but one name that was on that list that everyone thinks should go all the way. There's a couple, actually. Keyshawn Davis, everyone expects him to go all the way. If it doesn't happen, there's going to be a surprise. Jared Anderson, the heavyweight. A lot of people are excited about Jared Anderson. I know you guys have been talking about him a lot.
Listen, I've been saying it for a couple of years now. Like, he reminds me of a young Riddick Bowe. And I always say of the Riddick Bowe that fought Evander Holyfield the first time, that vicious, possessed Riddick Bowe, that's who he reminds me in their skill level. I mean, he has that instinct that he wants to hurt you every time. That list is great. Jared, to me, stands out, and Keyshawn Davis.
You see, hardly ever does a technical, smaller fighter look at a heavyweight and say, that guy's really, really, really good. And that's what Shakur Stevenson says about Jared Anderson. Sometimes they mix it up in the ring, fooling around, and Jared Anderson can move like he's, a middleweight, and that's why he's special.
Not to mention that, Tyson Fury has puts himself out there saying, I spend camps with this dude.
Right.
He's a problem in there in sparring, and it's coming from the best heavyweight in the world.
But I like David Morrell Jr. I think that he just hasn't had his shot yet. And that's the thing. And I don't want him to get dismayed because fighters are not fighting him yet right now at 168 and then move up to 175 without proving himself at 168. I hate when that happens.
Well, according to him, he'll move up to 175 and prove himself at 175 if the likes of Canelo Alvarez or David Benavidez don't face him.
Yeah, but I just get a belt at 168. Get a belt at where you're kind of natural or where you could still make. Get a belt there and then move up. That's what I say.
Kind of difficult to get a belt at 168 because some guys got all of them. And that guy doesn't want to give them away anytime soon either. But it's a good list, isn't it? Some good names on that list as well. Frank Martin on that list goes under the radar a bit. Obviously, a very good fighter with Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I really like the kid. He's got a great head on his shoulders, works extremely hard. He's after something. He does not have a chip on his shoulder because he flies under the radar, which I personally think is good. Because once he gets there, he's not going to be fighting with any extra energy. He's going to be doing what he's always done. And I think he can fight with the best of them at 135.
Yeah, indeed. Look, so many good fighters out there. So many good fights coming your way as well. This is what we've got coming for you on DAZN.
And now entering the arena, Canelo Alvarez, the pound-for-pound king,
Both of these women are champions, and they're fighting like champions.
What a sensational finish. I'm shocked.
big shots from Rocha.
Hey Diaz, fight me. Think you're the top? Creme de la creme right here. I'm coming for you.
I mean, come on. I mean, what more do you want? What more can we give you?
Hey, listen. Lara Wood,
Lara Wood, too?
Whoa.
It's funny because I actually interviewed or spoke to Lee Wood, and I'm like, dude, you're going straight to that guy again?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, do or die?
Yeah.
Do or die. He wants to go for it.
Well, then good for him.
Good for him, indeed. So much on the platform you can look forward to. We've got so many classic fights available for you now. I think a couple of Sean fights are on there as well. A couple of those were classics. Garcia Unwrapped available now as well. And the DAZN Boxing Show. Myself, Tony Bellew, Ak Barak. You know what we do. We break it down for you every single week, as we will be doing on Monday and Tuesday this week as well. Woo! I'm loving it. Honestly, I'm liking it. We've got so much. You know, a lot's been talked about power versus speed in this matchup. Right, Gervonta Davis got the power, Ryan Garcia's got the speed. No one's talking about Ryan Garcia's power. Ryan Garcia is, though. He sat down and looked back at some of his best knockouts.
But that shot was crazy. That body shot was nasty. I still haven't seen a better body shot in slow motion. This was my fight with Jose Lopez, and I think this was great for my career because I believe this was my second fight with Eddie Reynoso, and I really felt my power come in and just my snap, something I felt like was missing a little bit the fight before with, what was his name? Braulio Rodriguez. So this was a fight that really helped me gain my confidence, and I felt just really snappy and strong. I just felt like I could conquer anything and destroy anybody after that fight. So this fight, I was facing Javier Fortuna, and I felt like it was very important because Javier Fortuna is a southpaw, and I knew that I had to prepare for Gervonta Davis. And in this fight, I really felt like I was able to control the ring much better and hurt somebody without overextending myself or trying to hurt them. So I felt like internally I I was in a much better place. This fight and now going further. This fight, I'm fighting Romero Duno, and this fight was very important because at the time, a lot of people thought he was going to beat me because he was a hard-punching fighter from the Philippines, and they thought I was scared of him because I didn't want to fight him in November because they were trying to force me to fight him, and I don't like to be forced to do anything if I don't feel like it's the right time. So I knew that I wasn't afraid of him, and then when I got in the ring, I proved it. So I think that was a very special moment for me, and I beat him in the first round, which was dope. Got a slut. Boom. And it went very viral, too, so that was dope. Because nobody thought I hit him, but then you slow it down, and they show it. This fight was probably the most iconic fight of my career so far. I think right here I proved to a lot of people that I'm much more than what they think I am. And I proved that, you know, I'm not who they say I am. I'm who I choose to be. And right there really showed everybody at that moment that you don't let people define who you are. You define yourself. That was an iconic moment. Boom. They still make memes about that, though, when I start. Yep, right there. It's like I'm having a baby. But that shot was crazy. That body shot was nasty. I still haven't seen a better body shot in slow motion. If I do, I'll give it its credit, but that one's fire. People don't even know why I was crying. Maybe one day I'll say it. Ooh. This fight was my favorite knockout I've ever had because I was so in the zone here. You don't understand. I was in just like a flow zone so effortlessly, and I seen that shot, but I seen it in slow motion. People don't know. Like I was able to see his chin there, and then just like say to myself that shot's open, and then I throw it. Like I was able to really just see it, and I felt like I had more than 10 seconds to throw that punch. It was like it was there for me just to hit at any time I wanted to. It's like time slowed down in that moment. It was really dope. I've only had a couple moments in my career where I've had that, where things just slow down so slow that it doesn't seem like it's real. And before that, I knew I was gonna knock him out too. Like I was praying to God, and I just felt like some type of anointing, like. And I just envisioned that he was being knocked out cold. And I absolutely knew it was happening. And then everything after that moment felt like it was correct. Like I could do nothing wrong. Walking to the ring, the way I moved, it was like everything was so on point. It was a very interesting time right there. Remember, if you're not already subscribed to DAZN Boxing, you should probably go do it right now, because you could check out everything leading up to my fight against Gervonta Davis, April 22nd.
He looks like a movie star, doesn't he? Good looks, doesn't he?
There's not too many boxers out there that can do a lot of different things.
He's one of them.
I'm trying to kind of live in that space of, hey, we're more than just fighters. You know, that kid right there is more than a fighter.
Yeah, he certainly is. There's a couple of things that stood out looking at those knockouts. His size. Yeah. You can see how he's now gone a lot bigger. And Canelo being ringside. Yeah, I almost wish that, you know, we had, obviously, look, we're probably going to get Floyd here. Yeah. So you're going to get that Floyd-Gervonta link up.
Floyd will be here.
It would have been so nice to see Canelo and Ryan together for this one.
No, is Canelo not going to be here for this one?
I mean, who knows,
He'll be here for this one. Canelo will be here, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll be here. But listen, the thing that stood out to me is this is what people overlook about Ryan Garcia. He's a boxer. He's a fighter. He's just said it. It seemed like it took forever. He saw that punch and he could have thrown it at any point in time and it was going to land. That's what we do as fighters. We analyze, we see, and then we go. And that's that you have to, you can't just pull somebody off the street and put them in the ring and they do that. You train to do that. You hone in on your talents and your gifts. And he's done that time after time, year after year. People don't realize he's been boxing since he was 8 years old.
Yeah.
What he's going to do tonight, yes, he's a live dog. Very, very possible he wins this fight tonight.
Let's bring in Akenbrak as well. They've been watching a bit of the undercard fights, I know, but let's talk about Ryan Garcia and those knockouts. are we overlooking his power? Because a lot of people, again, for this fight, predicting Ryan wins it based on his speed, his size. Not many people talking about Ryan's power.
Well, I'm not overlooking Ryan's power. When you think about it, I mean, think about Tank and the high-level fights that he's been a part of, like the Gamboa, like the Pitbull Cruz. He's not knocking high-level opponents out. Yes, he has his share against Luis Santa Cruz, but Ryan is also knocking guys out with one shot. He did it against Luke Campbell. He's done it against Fonseca. He's done it before. So it's safe to say that Ryan's power is not far from Tank's.
I mean, I guess Tank has a higher knockout ratio, and he has power in both hands.
Not much higher.
No, it is. It's 90. It's between 90-something compared to 82, and that's Ryan Garcia. I'm a stat guy. It's hard. It's hard to go against me.
That's not a big disparity.
No, it is a big disparity.
At the top level.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But at the same time, I'm going to go off the cuff here, just like, Sean without the jacket. But I'm going to go off the cuff here, and I'm going to say, let's count how many one-punch knockouts they each have. And I bet Ryan is either neck and neck or maybe even winning.
And that was my point. Look, when it comes to power, I'm talking about vicious power. You always think of that one shot, right? That one punch. And I went far back, not too far back, but I've seen Ryan knock guys out with one punch more than Tank.
You went far back on YouTube, huh?
Yes.
You went way back on YouTube.
But Tank has done it at a high level.
Right, that's true.
One thing Ryan did say in that piece, Act, was about that body shot that he landed to Luke Campbell. And he says the best body shot we've ever seen. And it's the way in which he disguised it. We thought he was going to go up top, and then he landed it low. But this is a lot, though, isn't it? The fact that he got up off that.
This kind of, for a lot of people, this kind of like tells the story of what they think is going to happen in this fight with Tank Davis. But look at the kid. He gets up, and then like you just said, he sets that punch up. He has a whipping way he throws his hook, and he whips it to the head so often that that's what you expect to come. Right there against Luke Campbell, he whipped, but it came here to the body. That's something you just can't defend.
That's Canelo, isn't it?
That's Canelo.
That's Canelo. That's being in that camp with Eddie Reynoso. That's Canelo's favorite shot.
Yeah,
that's a good point. And you know what? That's something that he worked on in camp, because he actually told me and Ak, he was like, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a body shot that ends this fight. And it was.
Yeah, not only that, it gave me Roy Jones vibes, meaning from a weird angle, jumping in, leaping type of shot. Now, I'm not comparing Ryan to Roy Jones.
Yeah, you nearly did.
It's not, listen, it's not a typical leaning down, squatting body shot. It's something that's kind of like a check hook, but a check body shot.
Yeah, well, he faked it up top and went down low, and that's how he got him.
Yeah, look, when's the last time you've seen a fighter at a high level really attack Tank's body? That's going to be a real interesting point. If Ryan does, first off, you have to be in a line of fire to land that body shot, right? And we know it's going to be difficult to be in a pocket with a guy like Tank Davis. But if he lands those body shots, can he slow Tank down?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Look, we're going to get your predictions in a minute. I'm going to get a prediction from Sean as well. I like it. Sean's like, no, we don't do that.
I don't do
if Sean doesn't do it, other fighters do. These are predictions from other fighters.
Garcia versus Tank Davis, the fight we have all been waiting for. This one has Ryan Garcia decision victory all over it to me.
That's 50-50 fight for me.
I'm going Garcia. I want Garcia to win, and I want Garcia to win by knockout.
Team Ryan. King Ryan for the win.
Tank is much more proven, much more experienced, but we got to see, if that weight plays a role when Tank hits Ryan, how Ryan stands up, but also how Tank stands up when Ryan hits him.
If I had to choose someone, I'll choose Tank for, I think he's just been a lot more active in the ring, and trust me, it definitely pays off when you're staying active.
That's a great fight. I would still have to go with Gervonta Davis, just for experience purposes and who he is as a fighter.
Ryan is going to give Gervonta a hell of a fight. He knows how to keep that distance, and the left hook is also a very powerful punch.
Both fighters have a style. Ryan got a style that can take this fight and win it unanimously easy and surprise everybody and not be as tough as you think it is.
Wow.
But Tank Davis has the power to be able to end the fight. So to me, if you're going to have a shootout with a shooter, you're going to lose.
You might get shot too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, styles make fights. I think Ryan, if he can stay patient and use that jab, it's gonna be a dogfight. It's gonna be a dogfight at times.
Right.
Use your freaking jab. Use the jab to set everything else up. If he stays long in the center of the ring, he wins this one.
Ryan Garcia is so fast, so that's going to be the deciding factor. But I'm expecting Tank at some point to be able to connect, put him on the canvas, maybe once, maybe twice, maybe enough to get the fight stopped. I'm leaning towards Tank, but I think it's going to be a really hard-fought battle.
We definitely got our eye out for his speed and power. You know what I mean? We're working on, like, what he brings. That's basically it, though. Yeah. That's all he got is speed and power.
Whoever wins this holds the crown as the most popular fighter in the sport.
Right.
Yeah, this fight can give birth to the true next face of boxing.
I think it's fair to say that was split. There's no point asking Gervonta and Ryan who they think is going to win. I think we know that's going to play out. All right, look, Sean doesn't do predictions. Barack, I know, doesn't do predictions. So Ak's gone to find someone that will give us a prediction. Ak, hit the strip.
If you guys watch the DAZN Boxing Show, you know my co-host is scared to make predictions. I'm sick of it. So that's why I'm here. We're going to see Ariel at the Psychic Shop. So we're going to see who's going to win this Saturday night. Come on. Saturday night, this is going to be one of the biggest boxing events in a very long time. As I told you earlier, two undefeated young fighters in their prime. How does this fight play out?
Let's take a look. Saturday night, you said?
Saturday night. I'm gonna make some money.
This is gonna be a close one.
Ooh.
Because I feel like they're, like I said earlier, very similar. There's a lot of positive things on each side. They're both very prepared and determined. Something about this, though, tells me we're leaning in one direction a little bit more than the other, but it's hard for me to say precisely right now because they're both so, the scale is so even almost. I feel like this is going to be a good fight and a lot going on. Something's giving me a lot of positive vibes about Ryan because I'm hearing a lot of people chanting his name. Like, I can hear his name being called out quite often. Now, I do get good vibes. This other guy's going to come in pretty strong. And I do feel he knows what he's doing as well.
Yeah, they both do not. Tell me this, does the fight end by knockout or does it go the distance?
I am getting good vibes that this is going to be a long fight. It's not going to be all of a sudden short fight. Wow. You know what I mean?
So it's going to be a long...
It'll go on. I don't know if it'll go till the end.
Do you see a rematch in that ball somewhere?
This is not their last encounter. I'm going to say that. I'm just getting vibes. After this match, there's going to be unfinished business.
Wow. Now, listen, you know, considering everything that's been going on with the negotiations and rematch clauses, I don't know, that's insight right there. I mean, you can't give me a winner, but you kind of did. I think I got what I need. Thank you so much, Ara. You've been so helpful. I'm going straight to the bookies. I'm going to place bets today. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. All right, folks, let's play some bets. It's fight weekend. We're in Vegas. Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, let's go.
I think Ak just got what he wanted to hear and left.
Yeah.
Ak was waiting for a certain... Oh, what, Ryan? Oh, okay, cool. Where can I place a bet? That was interesting, Ak. I like it, though. You have to do it because Brack doesn't talk.
Well, that's what I mean.
Wait a minute here, man. That's not why he had to do it. But go ahead.
That's exactly why, because of the lack of participation from my co-host. I had to go far and find a prediction, but she gave me what I needed. We all know that the rematch clause is only if Ryan wins. She said that that's not going to be the end the last time those dudes face each other. So in other words, she sees Ryan winning this fight.
But listen, I mean, in her crystal ball, she had Google. And you're over here talking about, oh, I'm going to place a bet because of that. Okay, if I'm so scared, first of all, I got respect for fighters. That's why I don't do predictions. Let me hear your prediction for tonight. Ryan Garcia or Tank Davis?
I'm leaving it to the psych.
Ah, you see, he's scared. Look at that.
No, I said it earlier this week. You're not going to get a prediction for the big 50-50 fights. I never give it. We all know where my heart is.
All right, guys, just before we wrap, let's just talk about the magnitude of it, right? It's quiet now. It's going to be 20,000 in here in a couple of hours. Who has more to lose for this one? Neither of them really, right? Because both of them want to keep their O's. But who can move forward with a defeat?
I mean, both can move forward without defeat. I'll never say that. But the one who has the most to lose is the one who accomplished more already, and the one who's dismissing the other fighter. And that's Tank Davis. He's already been a champion. Some say champion in 2 divisions, whatever. But he's already established, and he's already a huge, huge name in the sport. So he has more to lose. But I think they both can come back if they lose.
I say Ryan has more to lose because of how he built himself up to be, and a lot of people are questioning him. This can be the fight where they'll say he was a hype job if he gets knocked out in this fight. He has a lot to lose. Maybe not belts, but reputation.
Sean, very quickly, who has more to lose?
Both guys do. It's not losing, it's how you lose. This goes the distance. Both guys give an unbelievable fight. Both guys, no one loses anything. So, but this doesn't go the distance. Somebody's got a problem.
Yeah, someone has got a problem. Look, we beg for big fights. That's what we want as boxing fans. As former boxers, we want to see the best fight the best. We get it here tonight from the magnificent T-Mobile Arena. 20,000 people are going to be entertained. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Undefeated versus undefeated, superstar versus superstar. I can't wait for it. From myself, from Sean, from Ak and Barak. Get ready for a special night of boxing.
Two boxers whose time has come.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come.
Ready for the destinies. Two fighters. One opportunity for supremacy.
I'm gonna walk you to the deep waters and I'm gonna drown you.
For the crown.
He doesn't have the heart of the champion.
Two warriors. Raising the stakes. Raising the game. Raising the drama.
Now we're going to see what this kid's made of.
This is it. April 22nd. Destinies will be written. Tick. Tock. Time's up.